Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be going over a new feature in Google Sheets. It is called the table feature. Right here, I have an example of a finished product that incorporates this table feature. Before I go over this, let me take you to a new sheet to show you what it looks like. Click on Insert and Tables. You can also pull it up when you have data in your sheet, and I'll show you how to do that as well. When you hover around the options here, it gives you a preview of what the table would look like. What's nice about this is that you don't have to start a lot of tables from scratch. It gives you the tables with the placeholders that you can adjust to fit your own needs. So for example, we have event task, project task, content tracker. In addition to these individual tables, there are a collection of tables that work together for a specific purpose. For example, you have event planning. If I open this up, within the event planning collection, event task, event schedule, event guest list, the vendor list, and the budget. Another example would be project management. You can include a sheet with project task, project resources, office hours. You can connect these three sheets, add more if you need to work for you as your project management system. Here's another example, a travel planner. You can add your trip itinerary, trip budget, trip transportation, and then you can add more to this to make your entire trip planning template. Here's another one, inventory management. This comes with inventory tracker, a vendor list, purchase orders, and sales orders. So you have an inventory management system with individual sheets that are all connected together. If you haven't played around with this, check them out to see if you can use either the individual tables or the systems that have been created together. Before I go into creating this template for you, let's check out one of them. I will insert the event task, so just click on Insert. Let's take a look at how the table works. This is the table name. If you click on the arrow next to it, you can rename this table. The next part of this menu is we can adjust the table range. The range is between A1 and F15. You can adjust it to include more rows and more columns as you need to. Next on the menu, we have alternating colors. If you don't want that feature, click on this and it takes it off. Next is to customize the color. It does come with these default colors. If I wanted to change it to this red, I can do so. Or I can add my own colors by clicking on Add Custom Color, and then I can type in Xcode or move it around and reselect the color that I want. Next on this menu is if you don't want the table features, you can click on this and it goes back to a normal spreadsheet. Right next to this menu, you have this icon. If you click on this, you see that you can use this to create a group view and to create a filter. We'll come back to that. Here's what makes this different from a regular column is that these columns are predefined. So what do I mean by that? If you click on this arrow, okay, it has a specific type of data in this column. For this first column, it is text. So you can specify what type of data goes into the column by clicking on Edit Column Type and then changing it to a specific column type. Alternatively, if you don't want to use this feature, you can turn it off by clicking on None, then it's just a blank column. The other thing you can do is now that you have selected a column type, you can show placeholders. That way, if you're creating this for somebody else or for a team, they know exactly what needs to go into those cells. Moving on to the next column, this column type is a drop down. So this is not different from the drop down that we would insert by going into Insert and drop down, or data validation, add rule, and drop down. It's the same thing. You can click on this pencil icon and change it from drop down to drop down from range. You can click on the advanced options and change the style to arrow or plain. I like to use arrow, so I will change it to that and click done. And this is what it looks like. So it works the exact same way. The next column is the owner of the task. So let's see what that looks like here. This is made using smart chips. With smart chips, you have people, file, finance, place, and rating. When this feature is turned on and you click on name, you can add a person to a project using their email address. So here's my business email address. Right here, it says, mention people don't have access to this file. Sharing it will give them access and send them a notification. And then you can share the file with them. This will be very useful for something like a group project or an event planner. The next one is also a drop down. Here we have a date. Okay, and even within the date, you can select a date and a time, and just time. So it gives you lots of different options. And finally, we have notes, which is just a text option. Now, let's check out some of the ones that we haven't looked at so far. We have number, If you click on that, you see we have number, percent, or currency. All right, so it gives you the option with the currency placeholder. And of course, you have the option of changing the currency if you're not using dollar to whatever currency that you will be using. So that's a quick overview. Few other things that you should know about this is that it does freeze the first row, but you can move things around. You can move this by hovering around until it turns into the hand. And if you want to bring it back, you can always bring it back. You can also add space above the table name right here. So you see how it has this gray color? If you click on the first row and insert row above, that disappears. Okay, that's because right now, instead of having that blank area, you have a row above, and then you can go ahead and insert another row again. And if you wanted to add something above the table, you can drag it down to create space. And now you can use this space to add more information or header or graphs, etc. There are some things you cannot change. These icons are fixed. They are determined by the type of column you select. The other thing I noticed is that you can't change this color. You see how it has this gray color? The placeholders are also this black gray color. You can't change that. All right, so here's an example of how I use the table. As you can see, the table shows up right here. I created some space above it to add in some summary data from the table. So this is what we're going to be creating in the next part of the tutorial. In the next video, I'll show you how to create an expense tracker. We'll go through the steps of importing a CSV file and uploading it into Google Sheets. We'll then use the table feature to set up your tracker. Be sure to stay tuned for part 2. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.